So I just finished chapter 2 of Life is Strange Double Exposure. I guess I wasn't sure what to expect from this. Once they announced that Max Coffee was coming back, I'm like, Max is back? Little shy, sheepish Max from the original game. What was I gonna say? She's like kind of feels like a different character now. Like back in the day, she was like kind of a blank slate. Didn't really have that much going on for her, which kind of made sense for the character at the time. And they're trying to give her a little bit more to work with in this. I just don't know if I really buy into it yet, especially with that twist at the end of chapter 2. I was like, I don't know if I really buy that. She would do that. So they basically gave her Elizabeth Comstock's power from Bioshock Infinite, ripping between realities and stuff. That's Elizabeth's power from Bioshock Infinite. My personal favorite in Bioshock series. That's what they basically gave her. She gets, and basically what they gave Max in this. She doesn't do time travel anymore. She just goes to different realities now, apparently. Because this chick that we meet, Sophie, we get to know her for like half the episode, and she gets murdered. And the rest of this little demo is Max trying to solve the mystery. And spoilers, turns out in this other reality, there's another Max. She's the one that shot Sophie. And my jaw kind of dropped. I'm like, Max? I'm just like, no way. Someone's got to make that make sense, because Max? You might be one of the, she's way too nice to do that type of shit. It just, huh? Like, I figured if she was jumping between different realities, there's got to be another Max on the other timeline. So that kind of answered my question. I'm just like, wait, Max killed her? Must have a pretty, they got to make that make sense, because I'm glad I waited to do chapter 2, because this came out 2 weeks early. I wouldn't have wanted to be sitting on my ass waiting X amount of days to find out what the hell's going to happen. And instead of just giving the pre-order people the entire game, just chapters 1 and 2 instead. Then you're gonna wait like everybody else for the next couple of episodes, which to me is stupid. Just give me the whole damn thing. Did I want to pay it for? Shit. We don't get to know that much about Sophie before she's murdered, so I'm like, I wasn't entirely sure why I should care. Well, this is Chloe. Like, all right, I get that. Spend a lot more time with Chloe than you do with this chick. And act like these two have been like best pals for a minute. I'm like, yeah, I bought that more with Chloe in the original game than I do with this. I get what they were going for with, they were definitely trying to capture Chloe and Max vibes. It doesn't really work with this character. Like, you can't replicate a character like Chloe. You just can't. She's one of a kind. Like in my playthrough, I picked the timeline where Chloe lives, but Max and Chloe parted ways, apparently. So Kind of wish they had a timeline where Chloe was written into this. I'm kind of curious how Chloe would react to seeing Max doppelganger. That I would have been down for, but as it happens, I can also see why they wouldn't want Chloe in this, kinda. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the sales are for this new Life is Strange yet. I know their new IP had to get pushed back because of this. So, so like I was under the impression that every Life is Strange is going to be a standalone story with new characters. You got the original with Max and Chloe, second one with Sean and his annoying brother Daniel, and the third one, True Colors, is probably the best in the series. Alexander Chen, probably the best. And Stephanie comes back. Steph is the best. And now this one is like number four, I guess. Max coming back. So I never saw that coming. I didn't think they'd actually do that. Some series when they do this type of thing. So I didn't think it was going to be an actual series. So when I heard about even that awful prequel Before the Storm, which kind of ruined Chloe's story, honestly. Especially stuff with her dad, just made it less impactful than it was in the original game. Should have never bothered with that. That Before the Storm was terrible. So if you include Before the Storm, it's like five Life is Strange games. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this to be a series at all. I figured it'd be like Watch Dogs. We have Aiden Pierce in the original, and you got Wrench in the second one. Then I guess a bunch of random people in Legion until they brought Aiden Pierce back in the Bloodline DLC. 'Cause I figured the original Life is Strange was a decent standalone story. So I'm like, okay, I guess we'll be seeing Max again. Then they had that farewell storyline, which I didn't bother doing because I didn't want to save for all the characters. And now look at this. All these years later, I got growing up Max and Life is Strange. See, now at the end of chapter two, now I think I understand what double exposure means. Because I wasn't entirely sure where they were going with this until I got through chapter two. I'm like, oh, I think I get it now. Thankfully, it's only a couple of days I gotta wait for the rest of the season comes out. I wish they just give me the whole thing. Like, why don't just give me the whole damn game? And then would have paid like $80 for. Like, what a freaking piece of robbery. Or at least give me three chapters to play. Now just that's a crazy ass cliffhanger. Like Max is the murderer. It's just too funny, man. It's like Kate Marsh murdering Chloe or something in the original game. And Kate Marsh better be alive too in that timeline that I picked. It was just so messed up what happened to that girl in the original game. Still bothers me to this day. It was like the first playthrough, I wasn't able to save her. That bothered me so much. That type of stuff is real, man. People get bullied and teased, and then they do stuff themselves. Stuff is real. People think video games are just mindless button mashing. No, it's some of this stuff is based on real life, just fictionalized. Stuff happens to people. And you mess with the wrong person in society and that person snaps, well, just say you kind of get what you deserve. This wasn't really like a slow start to the game. It's like I figured Sophie either had a crush on Max or vice versa. The only time someone asks you about your personal life is when they're interested in you. Like how many people have you dated? Are you seeing this person? That type of stuff. So she asked her about Chloe. I'm like, oh, I get it. It's always cool seeing new characters in Life is Strange series. Part of me is kind of wondering if this should have been another set of new characters instead of Max. Not that I didn't want to see Max again, I'm still a little shocked that it happened at all, considering I did think Max was that popular, honestly. I figured that Alex from True Colors was more popular than Max. True Colors was fantastic. The LARP segment was a little bit drawn out, but other than that, it's a great story. Look forward to playing it again down the line. I definitely say True Colors is the best in the Life is Strange series. And right behind that would probably be the original. I want to see where this one goes. And they definitely got to have the two Maxes interacting at some point in this. I'm like, so just going to another reality. There's got to be another Max or running around somewhere. And if there is another Max, and the other Max knows what she's doing, she's probably trying to avoid her. Or maybe the other Max has time travel, has the rewind power like she does, and maybe she's been following her. That usually it's that type of thing that happens with time travel stories when you run into your younger self or your older self or something. Because I don't think Max really realizes what she's actually doing when she goes back in time where she shifts reality. It's like she's learned nothing from her experiences in the past. And the reason he had to let Chloe die was because she was supposed to. And it was gut wrenching, it really was. But like here we go again, another person being murdered. This time it's a mystery. Like never really saw Max as that type of character in the original game. You can say no detective, she's a college student. So it's kind of interesting seeing this particular side of her emerge in this new setting, I guess. Still a little bit of still feel like she's a different character now than she was back in the day, which is fine. Characters can evolve. But like, again, she was kind of a blank slate back in the day. Not much too much of a personality. I think Chloe had more of that going on than Max. And she just played off her pretty well. I don't know what she sees in this Amanda chick. She's kind of homely. I know it's a game, but I'm like, yeah, could do better than that, Max. So I figured she had a thing for Sophie or something. I figured they were together in the other reality, but apparently she's been banging the student teacher guy. I'm like, oh, he's banging her. Shock. And this guy's got a crush on Max, apparently. I think it happens right after this. Yeah, I thought Max was going to rewind time. Unless he's going to rewind time and stop you from answering her phone. But apparently, she said that her rewind powers haven't worked in a while. You know what I mean? Like, would have been pretty handy here. Now she's got this freaking copycat Elizabeth Comstock reality bending stuff going on. Like, I think Elizabeth wants her powers back, Max. I'm kind of shocked Max didn't go with her. Honest truth. I'm like, seriously, Max? This part I don't get. I'm like, I just didn't understand the their relationship. I'm like, I know they're supposed to be friends. I'm like, I don't really understand. So I feel like they didn't spend that much time with them as friends. Like you just met this chick and she's gone the next scene. And they played up like it's this big dramatic thing when Max gets her Elizabeth Comstock powers and he goes into the other reality and suffers a lot. Like it was supposed to be this big reveal. But if it wasn't in every single trailer for the game. I cared more about Chloe when she got shot in the beginning of the original game and went back to save her than I did with this. Not that I didn't care at all, just it felt kind of repetitive. Well, like, yeah, I think the twist with Max Doppelganger is more interesting than anything with Max and stuff. I just want to know why how crazy Max shot her. That's all it is. It feels like it's completely out of character. They just need to explain what the hell happened with this other Max. That I don't buy that happening at all. So yeah, I thought she's not the type of character. I can see Chloe doing that. Like it was if it was like an evil Chloe, I can buy that. That would be even cooler. I think for a twist. Like as an evil Chloe in this reality. Maybe she shoots Sophie out of jealousy or something. That would have been an even better twist, I think. Well, evil Max, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I buy it. I just don't. Yeah, so now here comes the migraines, and now we see the owl. There's got to be a max from the other timeline. Obviously, it is. I'm just like, they need to have a good explanation for this. Like, her getting away, obviously, she has the same powers that this Max does. Again, I just need to make this make sense because I think I'm more confused than anything. Yeah, I know she wouldn't have used her rewind powers here, but I don't know, man. It's sad. I feel like I didn't know that much about Safi to really have any type of connection with her. So I think they just should spend a little more time with these two. Like I like mysterious characters, but like if you're gonna kill them off this fast, I would have wanted to spend more time with them. So that's really my only negative. The Max doppelganger thing. They need to make that make sense. So in that way, I'm looking forward to the next couple episodes. But like, I think Evil Chloe would have been even better for a cliffhanger than a typical doppelganger evil twin thing that's been done so many times in media.